Hello YouTubers, this is Musicore here, and this is my review of Wicked Lady's 1972 album, Psychotic Overkill. Now, Wicked Lady consisted of Martin Weaver, Del Morley, and Mad Dick Smith. This band is, I guess you could say, either metal or really hard rock. Like, they're sort of in that in-between. But, yeah, and this is the follow-up to the I think 68 album, The Axemen Cometh. Not sure the exact year it was released. But, it really was a good album. And this one's more... First album was really technical, this one's more just free flow jams, and starts off with I'm a Freak. And if there's one thing you can say, why do I think this band could be metal, the exact opening to Ace of Spades is on this record, is this song I'm a Freak. And it really worked good. It was very heavy, a cool vocal style, like it's mellow. That's what I like about this band, is they do something very mellow, grunge-like in a way. Guitar solos, fuzz rock, I guess would be the way, and it blends well. Like, everything just blends very well into it. Next song, number 2, Tell the Truth, which is a great riff, Zeppelin-like, and it just repeats after vocals. Drumming's good, weird middle bit. Mellow vocals, though. That's the one thing I'll say about it, is it's very mellow vocals, like nothing really truly... It's hard to make out sometimes, but the solos are good, and the heavy riff during the chorus, like, this band could do it very well, like just a heavy, heavy, heavy riff. Song number 3, Voodoo Child, Slight Return, a Jimi Hendrix cover. I love the opening. I think it's probably one of the best covers I've ever heard of Voodoo Child, Slight Return, where they actually make it their own. The opening with they almost distort it to the point where you can barely tell that it's playing, but no, it worked really good. Song number 4, Why Don't You Let Me Try Your PCP. Heavy chugging riff, thrash-like. The solo works really good. Vocals are mellow, but the one thing I'll say about this song is the chord changes in it is awesome. Like, just hear the chord changes is really good. Song number 5, Sin City. Soft opening, it was a good thing to start off softer than the previous songs, because the previous songs were pretty heavy, distorted, fuzzed, really good. First time in the album, I'll say this, good soft drumming and a bluesy vocal, which is really weird. And for the first time in the album, you actually hear an upbeat guitar solo. And stellar guitar playing. Like, that's one thing I'll say about this band, is that you go from hard to instantly soft, upbeat, no longer downer rock, as some would call it. And it's just great in it. It's good. Song number 6, Passion. Had a great sound. Kinks-like, in a way, like, you really got me type style. Great bass playing, a good beat. I guess you could even call it like heavy punk, sort of a proto-punk or early Sex Pistols, with how hard and fast they were playing. But it's good. Vocals were good. Solo was good. Great tone and sound. And it, again, is upbeat solo. Really picks up the song. And I'll say this, I know I haven't gone into much detail about the first 6 songs because I'm saving it for the 7th song. which is the last song on the album, which, if you consider this album metal, they've probably done something that most metal bands are too pussy to do. I'll say that flat out, too pussy to do. And it was really the time of the early 70s where prog rock was pretty big. Like, prog rock bands got quite a lot of notoriety for musicianship. This band did a 22-minute song, just flat out song of one thing I'll mention, and it's called Ship of Ghouls, which I'll say to anybody, one word to describe this song: epic. Just epic song that sort of did with what Pink Floyd was doing with Echoes. It sort of seemed like this was their Echoes. Very great guitar opening. Great hard riff with chugging. Soloing throughout. It's one thing I like. It. Solos were amazing. Like, just hearing the guitar throughout this entire song. My buddy of mine, he messaged me on Facebook because I posted this on his page or whatever, Ship of Ghouls. He said he had his morning cigarette and coffee, went, had a shower and all that, did all that, came back, and the song was still playing. So it's quite lengthy, but just great soloing throughout. Mellows with clean guitar. There are parts where it just mellows out, gets that clean guitar in there. Vocals are good, very descriptive. That's one thing I'll say about this album. It is very descriptive. And then it heavies up again with, and lyrics do as well. Like, the lyrics get heavier and the guitar playing's heavier, the bass, the drums. I am not sure though if Wicked Lady was fully a three-piece band at all, because there's very little about this band except a few points that I'll mention later after this. But yeah, it gets heavier, and there's elements of thrash, what would later be known as thrash metal guitar solos in here, or even Randy Rhoads like guitar solos in here, which was very good. And it repeats and repeats and repeats, and then fades into this weird middle section, very much like Pink Floyd's Echoes, with that slide guitar piece where Gilmour just distorts the shit out of his guitar and just does weird shit on it. You hear that here, and it works really well. And very much like Echoes, the solo reemerges at the end. Not the end, around the middle. Then you have some clean harmonic chords. The drums reemerge, the vocals reemerge. And then the solo comes back in afterwards. Then you get clean chords, clean vocals, solo. And it ends on a high note. That's one thing I'll say about this song, is it ends on such a high note that it's unlike a lot of other bands sometimes that go out and do stuff. You can say an album ends on a blah, and there's albums I have heard where if you would have switched the order of the song, it would have ended great, but this album just ended on such a great note. 22-minute epic track. And yeah, that's the album now. Wicked Lady sort of got a nasty reputation of being pretty unreliable live. They were a pretty rowdy bunch. And one night at a bar, they went and played a song. I'm not sure if they just didn't want to play that night or anything, but they played the same song over and over and over and over and over again until they shut them off. But yeah, Wicked Lady after this would not release another album. They certain members of the band, I'm not sure which ones because it wasn't really clear, went and joined a band called Dark, which was more psychedelic, which they really liked. And they had an album, I think it's called Rough Around the Edges, or something like that. But no, this is a great record, I suggest listening to the entire album. If you can buy the album, iTunes, anything, buy it because it's worth it. This album completely blew my mind when I heard it, because I'm like, how could a band so back then be so good, like, and not be remembered? And that's sort of why a few bands I've reviewed, I've said the same thing, like, they're so good. I didn't think in any time, and yeah, so that's my review. Be sure to like, subscribe. If you have any albums you want me to review, be sure to comment down below. This is MusicCore. Peace.